Hello, welcome again to LTN Reviews. My name is Tony, I'm with Ash today, once again. Today we're talking about Madea Homecoming, a Madea Homecoming. Netflix, actually, which is quite surprising. This is the first time he's done any deal with Netflix before.
Yeah, coming out of retirement from the Madea character.
Yeah, to be honest, he's done Madea so many times, and I think he likes playing Madea more than himself. He's a good, he was in Gone Girl. He was a good actor. He was a good character in Gone Girl. He acted quite well, so he's gone back to basics. But this time, it's a crossover.
Two massive franchises, the Madea franchise and Mrs. Brown Boys.
Yeah, what are you thinking about that? Because to be honest, when you told me about this film, I didn't know this crossover was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the trailer, and I was thinking, this is a bit crazy. It's like UK and America clashing, but what kind of work they have, kind of work in a way where they have one character that plays a woman, another character that plays a woman, but obviously being played by men. So I was intrigued what they're going to do with it. But Ash, let's start with you, like always. What do you think? What are you thinking for the whole thing?
How I look at it is they both do live shows, because anyone in the UK, Mrs. Brown's Boys is recorded in front of a live audience, where obviously Medea's got live audience shows, but putting it onto the big screen behind the cameras, I was just like, how's this going to work for Mrs. Brown and the character? But I think it does work, considering it's American humour and British humour moulded.
Yeah, I think with British and American humour, it differs very much, and I was intrigued in how it's going to work. I mean, not many people know about Tyler Perry in the UK, but obviously a lot of people know who Mrs. Brown is in the UK, and vice versa, really. So I was really intrigued, and then they both on screen together. The first time they meet, and you're thinking, oh my god, like these are, all the accents are clashing. Everyone's clashing. It's kind of like, oh, is this gonna work?
I thought it was quite good into the aspect of the backstory, the dialogue to go in to literally combined both the universe. I call them universes, universes, because they actually went into quite a backstory. Still, they brought the two iconic characters across. So I think it worked, but it kind of leaves it like all the Madea films. They hit a physical motion to deal with some kind of trauma, and this movie does it again.
Yeah, I didn't know what Tyler Perry was going to do with it. The whole clashing of the actors or the characters, so to speak. So I was really impressed. I mean, with Medea's backstory, how ridiculous that is. But
I think it would have been. Well, I wonder who pitched that idea though, because they are from like basically two different audiences, the British and the American, and to mix Ireland, maybe crack up when he's going Ireland, it's like Iraq.
Yeah.
They're one and the same. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, no, it was offensive, but it was enjoyable. People need this film to come back to basics, I think.
This is how the film takes it. It's like we knew you're gay.
Yeah.
It's just when you come out, but you think that's the twist, ain't it? And then they twist up the story. So
yeah, that his mum is actually, he likes the guy. So
it's mad because from the previous films, you notice what his dad's like. So it's like a smoke and mirrors. I mean, I've said this about quite a few films of late. They show you one thing, and you're like the dialogue's pointing to this evidence, but then they switch it around. You're like, that's ingenious. That's why I look at even this whole script. I think if that was pitched to somebody, it takes a genius to combine both of those universes. And for me, it's one of my top. I would say it's one of my top Madea movies.
I mean, speaking about the character that came out as gay, in the black community, it's kind of hard to become out as a gay man. So seeing that in the film, and they took it so lighthearted, which I really enjoyed as well.
The thing is, with Tyler Perry, he will go to an actual political stance, and he gives you some kind of back history to things. And there are, if you're like a historian, he will reference quite a lot of things. Like there was some Martin Luther King stuff, he would always go back to the references. The funniest reference was like, it was, what's the woman's name? The diplomat woman. And he's there filming with the camera. He's like, it's 1954. And it's supposed to be from a set time.
Set time, he's got
with the iPhone.
And that. He's like, I don't know when I'm going to release this, but when I'm able to, I will, and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, reference in itself is quite hilarious. You know, everyone's seeing it, like the audience themselves, but they're seeing it as in the songs like that kind of makes no sense, but it's hilarious anyway. And it's just the character, herself or himself. It's just, what I mean. He's been doing it for so many years, and I think he's just gonna carry on. I think obviously with Netflix as well. They're going to do quite well for the film.
I think there will be more Madea films. That's for sure. Because when he said I'm going to retire the character, I think this might have been about 2013, and I was like, no. I watched all my Tyler Perry films up to this point. Obviously, he's got his Family Affair TV series. So he does make a lot of money.
He does.
But I was just like, the Madea character.
Yeah.
Loads of people in the black community in America, they love Madea. They think that's the what would I say, like the mother figure on the hood that everyone respects, because they can go to her and they know that she's going to be real with them.
Yeah, of course. And you get that with a lot of family as well. You always got that outspoken auntie.
Yeah.
So people can, you can take that and be like, oh, you know what, I know a person that is like that, acts like that. You can go to and speak to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, they touched on the Black Lives Matter stuff as well, in a jokey way. Because obviously, like I said, last year, it's been hard. Obviously.
But with Tyler Perry, there's always a massive political stance. So it's good that they get the people's word out, but in a subliminal way, through humour, through character building.
Yeah, we didn't need it to be serious, because it's been serious for how many, 2 years, and obviously the whole Black Lives Matter thing was happening in the pandemic.
Yeah. So
we had two things to worry about, really. I don't know, the way it looked, even referencing to Mrs. Brown's voice, that looks completely feels British.
Yeah.
Where Mrs. Brown's come out of that sort of comfort zone. It's put into a Tyler Perry film, which looks all colourful.
And some of the cross references, but it's one of those things, like, as a political stance, you see Tyler Perry's perspective, but Mrs. Brown, the character doesn't get changed at all. And I think, like, the humour between the Irish and her one-liners, they were complimenting each other. And when they were sitting down, having the edibles, you're like, damn, like, they've got like a bromance going.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there, and what's the movie runs for about an hour and 27 minutes or something, an hour and 47 minutes?
Yeah, 47 minutes. Yeah.
And for me, I was not bored for a second. But I love my Tyler Perry. But even bigger, Mrs. Brown Boys, I can watch that for hours and hours and hours on end. It's easy digestible. Like, it's one of those movies, like, obviously the coming out, what they start with, and then actually they go on about cheating, in a sense. It's like, what's good for one person is good for another. Like, you don't have to ever attack, just go on the offensive. You play a game, and all things work out in the end. And this movie, it basically does work out in the end.
Yeah, and it's hilarious how they do it. I mean, the ending was a bit silly. You got the whole Beyonce bit as well, but I guess a lot of people like Beyonce, so people appreciate it more. Mrs. Brown, and then you got Tyler Perry coming together and making this wholesome film that the world probably needed by now.
Yeah, literally, you got to take your hat off and give a round of applause to Netflix for taking on the job, because, like I said, when Tyler Perry said, I'm going to stop being a character, I would have never envisioned he was going to come back and bring out a movie to this magnitude.